So here's something wild that happened this year. A 16-year-old built a game in about 3 days. So just a simple farming simulator, you might think, where you plant carrots, wait for them to grow, and sell them for fake currency called shekels. So basic stuff so far, right? But that game just broke every concurrent player record in gaming history. And I'm talking like 22.3 million people playing at the exact same time. So that's more than Fortnite's peak, more than PUBG, more than Counter-Strike even, more than any game has ever achieved on what I was able to find online. And honestly, when I first saw these numbers, I thought they were some sort of typo, essentially. But here's the thing, this isn't just a fun story about a kid who got lucky or whatever. This is a masterclass in understanding your audience, building for reality, and monetizing without alienating your community. And if you're a brand agency or publisher or just starting out, looking at Roblox as a possible channel, you absolutely need to understand why this worked in my point of view. Because if a teenager can do this in 3 days, imagine what's possible when you actually understand the platform, whatever that means. And I would like to talk with you about the numbers that don't make sense, or perhaps it depends on how long you look at them. So let me put these numbers in perspective because they're genuinely insane. Grow a Garden hit 1 billion visits in 33 days, so little over a month, and that's the fastest any Roblox game has ever hit that milestone. And by July, it was already #1 top earning game on the entire platform. In May 2025 alone, this game generated $12 million in revenue from selling virtual seeds, sprinklers, and pet animals, essentially. And so this game helped push Roblox's Q2 daily active users to 111.8 million, so a 41% year-over-year increase. And financial publications like Investors, Business Daily, and Barron's literally credited this game for Roblox's 21% a stock price jump in June, as insane as that might sound. And it gets even better, or weirder, honestly, depending on how you look at it. When the game hit its concurrent player peaks, they didn't last, so Pocket Gamer noted that after hitting 21.3 million players, the count dropped to 7.6 million within an hour or so, then to 5.5 million after an hour, and so on. So what's going on here? How does a game this simple create record-breaking spikes in engagement, drive hundreds of millions in platform revenue, but then see players disappear just as quickly? And that's the exact question I've been obsessing over a bit, to be honest, because understanding this isn't just interesting, it's the blueprint for how modern viral mechanics actually work in 2025. And obviously, they might just work the same in 2026. So perhaps let's start with a little bit of a bold claim. The secret isn't the gameplay, or at least not solely the gameplay. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Grow a Garden. Critics looked at it and said, this is just a basic idle game, or it looks like a prototype. And even PC Gamer literally called it incomplete. And you know what? They're right, the gameplay is intentionally simple, but that's not solely why 22 million people played it at once. The genius, essentially, of Grow a Garden is in 3 interconnected systems that basically hacked humans' psychology. The first one, the offline growth mechanic, so your crops grow even when you're not playing. So this creates what behavioral psychologists call appointment gaming. So you plant your garden, log off, and you're literally incentivized to come back at specific times to harvest. So it turns your absence into progress, which is brilliant because it removes guilt from not playing, while simultaneously creating urgency to return. And perhaps the second one being the mutation system. So every crop you plant can randomly evolve into something rarer and more valuable. So you're not just farming, you're essentially opening loot boxes every time you harvest. So that dopamine hit of, maybe this time I'll get something gold or whatever it is the same mechanic that makes gacha games print money. And lastly, and this is the key if you ask me, event-driven FOMO. So the game launched weekly updates with time-limited items, exclusive cosmetics, and special events, and the record-breaking 21.3 million player spike that happened during the summer update. So the 22.3 million peak, that was on the other hand during an admin war event where the developer battled another popular games creator live in-game. And perhaps you already see what they did there. They engineered scarcity at scale, so when millions of players know that specific items will disappear forever in just a couple of hours, they all log in simultaneously because of that very FOMO. And traditional game studios spent years building complex mechanics, whereas this team understood that coordination can be more powerful than complexity. But here's the uncomfortable truth about the audience. This is where it gets exciting if you ask me, and honestly a little uncomfortable also if you're a brand or just starting out or whatever it is. About 35% of Grow a Garden's player base is under 13 years old, so the game's simplicity isn't really a bug, it is a feature specifically designed for Gen Alpha, so these kids didn't grow up with a Farmville or something, they grew up with Roblox as their primary social platform, and the monetization is quite aggressive, because when the original developer sold partial rights to Splitting Point Studios and Ubix Studios came in as a partner, so there was a notable shift toward more in-app purchases, and players can spend real money, like via Robux, to speed up crop growth, buy rare seeds, get premium sprinklers, unlock special pets or whatever. So some outlets have raised ethical questions about this, especially given the audience's age. So there's even been an underground economy where players trade rare in-game items for real cash on, let's say, Discord and eBay and whatnot, which violates Roblox's terms of service, obviously. But here's the thing, and this is what brands need to understand in my POV. This monetization model works because it doesn't feel predatory to the players, and the game hit a 90.5% positive rating with over 8.9 million upvotes, and players rather describe it as cozy, pretty much a counterpoint of the chaotic meme games that usually dominate Roblox. And the purchases are optional, so you can succeed without spending, but the game creates enough social pressure, like through visible rare items and status signaling, causing players wanting to spend. So that's the tightrope they're walking essentially. And the reason why I'm making this video for you as a brand or even future publisher or whatever, the reason why I'm telling you this is because if you're a brand looking at Roblox, you may need to understand that this platform doesn't really work like traditional advertising. You can't just slap a logo in a virtual space and call it a day. So Grow a Garden, as an example again, succeeded because it understood three things. The first one being platform native behavior. So this game was built for how Roblox players actually behave. Let's say short sessions, social sharing, collection mechanics, and FOMO driven results. The exact same ones we just talked about, and it didn't try to be something else. Second, community first, virality. So the record-breaking moments weren't from paid ads, they came from live events, developer transparency, and creating moments with a twerking bot, not just some random banners without wanting to be rude here. For instance, when NFL player Travis Kelce showed up for an in-game event that generated more organic reach than a $1 million ad buy. And lastly, obviously, monetization as enhancement, not just pure extraction. So yes, the game makes serious money, but it maintains that 90% approval rating because players feel like they're getting value out of it. So the purchases enhance an already enjoyable experience. Now, here's what this means practically, if you ask me. if you're launching a brand experience on Roblox, you can't just build it and hope people show up themselves. You need live events, you need reasons for coordinated participation, and you need to understand the psychology of appointment gaming and collection mechanics. Again, with all of this being my personal experience. And the brands that win on Roblox aren't the ones with the biggest budgets, as you just saw. They're the ones who understand the platform, as well as a 16-year-old developer who built this game in 3 days or so. So I totally get if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but we need to be on Roblox, or we already tried it once but it didn't work. I totally get it, because this platform is generally confusing from the outside. And as you just saw, the success of Grow a Garden wasn't accidental. It was a series rather of very deliberate design choices that aligned with how the platform actually works. And most brands totally miss out on all of this because they're applying traditional game design thinking to a platform that operates on completely, or at least partially, different principles. Because honestly, Roblox isn't right for everyone, but if it is right for you and you do it properly, the scale is unlike anything else right now. Like, as you might have seen with the numbers I was showing during this video, and we're talking about a platform with over 111 million daily active users, where the top games generate millions in monthly revenue and also create those cultural moments that break into mainstream news. Hi, my name is Jaden, and I build full-scale Roblox experiences for brands, publishers, and agencies. So if any of this was able to resonate with you just a bit, I'm very curious to find out what exactly you're up to. But I mean, you can also ask me for advice on your particular idea. And worst case, you learn something about the platform. Best case, the video was able to help you create the next big moment that gets 22 million people to show up at once. The chances are low, but you don't always have to hit it big or be number one. And I still want to make the point that what happens here oftentimes isn't just luck, at least not purely, and instead it is understanding the game essentially. And with that nice bottom line, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.